Grace Millane has now been missing for almost a week. At a press conference in New Zealand, her worried father said they normally hear from her every day.
We last had contact with her on Saturday the 1st of December. And as a family, we've been extremely concerned for her welfare. Grace is a lovely, outgoing, fun-loving, family-orientated daughter. Grace has never been out of contact for this amount of time.
The 22-year-old university graduate had been travelling alone in New Zealand for 2 weeks.
This is the tragic story of Grace Millane, the heartbreaking reminder of how a young life was cut short, of families enduring grief, and a nation that was united in a shared sorrow. When Grace Millane's life was taken, this tragedy shook New Zealand to the core. In an emotional public address, the Prime Minister even, Jacinda Ardern, spoke directly to Grace's family, apologising that she should have been safe in her country.
On behalf of New Zealand, I want to apologise to Grace's family. Your daughter should have been safe here, and she wasn't, and I'm sorry for that.
Born in Essex in England in 1996, Grace Millane, Grace Emmy Rose Millane, was the youngest of 3 kids, the only daughter of David and Gillian Millane, and she was close with her older brothers, Michael and Declan. She was known to her friends as being vibrant and artistic and deeply family-orientated. After graduating from Lincoln University, after getting her degree in advertising and marketing, no doubt, Grace saved up for a year-long backpacking adventure. But before departing, she showed her character and her personality by cutting off her hair, and she donated it to a kids charity. That's the type of person that she was. That was the positive person that she was. Selfless, in fact. She donated her long hair to the Little Princess Trust, a children's charity for children who had undergone treatment and obviously lost their hair. After this, October 2018, Grace then set off. After 6 weeks exploring South America, she arrived alone in New Zealand on the November the 19th. Eventually, she checked into the base Backpackers Hotel in Auckland. Well, it was a hostel, not a hotel. Tragically, what makes this case even worse, if you could look at it like that, this happened the day before her birthday and on her birthday. So the night before her birthday in 2018, on her 22nd birthday, in fact, she'd matched with a male called Jesse Kempson on Tinder. I can only imagine, and this is speculation, that Grace was feeling a little alone, maybe a little bit bored, and wanted some company for the evening. Time and time again, we see cases like this where these monsters only need an inkling of a chance. You would think going into a public place, you'd be safe. I suppose if she'd just took those extra steps afterwards and not gone home with him, but you should be able to be safe with people. Looking forward to a date. Grace was dressed all in black before heading to the local pub called the Bluestone Room. Messaged her friend back home whilst they were in the Bluestone Room to tell her friend she thought that the date was going quite well. But what was quite bizarre was when she went to the toilet, Jesse went through her handbag and purse, went through her belongings. It's unknown why he done this, but obviously he's an unsavoury character and was probably just looking to take advantage somehow. We know that he told Grace that he was an oil manager because the text back home to her friend revealed that's what he told her. So they left the Bluestone Bar around about 9:30 p.m. hand in hand. Now, on the 2nd of December, which was Grace's birthday, obviously her family were trying to get in touch with her. None of the family could get in touch with her, and it's highly unusual for her to not be in contact. This was a huge red flag, and the family didn't wait. They made sure that the police knew that she was missing and something was up.
The 22-year-old university graduate had been travelling alone in New Zealand for 2 weeks and was staying at this backpackers hostel in Auckland. She was caught on CCTV at an entertainment complex on Saturday night. Police say she then went to a hotel.
We now have the last known sighting of Grace at 9:41 p.m. on Saturday, the 1st of December, at the City Life Hotel with a male companion. Police have identified this man and he has been spoken to.
Officers don't know whether Grace left the City Life Hotel and now hold grave fears for her safety.
So at this point in the case, the police had to battle with a suppression order from the courts. They weren't allowed to name him and he wasn't allowed to be identified.
I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to anybody who has seen, spoken to or come into contact with Grace over the last few days, and to come forward with any detail, no matter how small, and contact the investigation team.
The following day was her 22nd birthday, but when her family sent her messages, she never replied.
On Sunday, once we wished her happy birthday, we didn't get a reply and none of the messages were delivered. We raised our concerns on Monday, 3rd of December, with local police and the embassy in New Zealand. They've been nothing but helpful recently, and we just urge you please to bring my sister home.
Grace was a keen artist and shared this video online 3 months ago.
The longer this goes on, the more concerning it is. At the moment, we don't have any evidence of foul play, but we're keeping an open mind.
Grace's father is now believed to be on his way to New Zealand. Her family say she wanted to see the world. They simply want to know that she's safe.
She was reported missing on December the 5th. So the detectives used the CCTV. They quickly found CCTV of them going out together, obviously. Jesse Kempson was a 26-year-old living at the City Life Hotel. Those who knew him, though, described him as a pathological liar. He fabricated stories about everything and anything, claimed to be related to famous athletes, footballers, pop stars. He's also said that he was dying of cancer, which is probably one of the worst things you can do. Absolute scum. A lot of con men do that, though, don't they? And he was working as a top corporate manager. In fact, when he was surviving off benefits, how you could have a suite at a hotel when you're on benefits is beyond me. New Zealand must be one hell of a place to live if you can live at a hotel off benefits. What a crazy place. He'd been evicted as well from multiple apartments. And actually that day, or the day before, he'd been fired from his telephone sales job. When he was first questioned, he claimed that him and Grace parted ways around 10 o'clock with a friendly goodbye, but the CCTV obviously didn't show that. Grace leaves the backpackers. She then proceeds to meet Jesse in the Bluestone room at 6:40 p.m. The next bar on their list is the Mexican Bar and Cafe. They get here around about 7:15. At 8:26 p.m, Jesse then pays and they both leave. 8:30 p.m, they then hit the Bluestone room. Grace texts her friends. She thinks the date's going okay. Then 9 p.m, they're getting a bit closer together. Everything seems fine. They're obviously getting on well. Little did she know what was about to happen. It's around then 9:40 p.m. Grace makes the ultimate mistake and heads home with Jesse to the City Life Hotel, never to be seen again. These are the last images of Grace seen alive. Security footage absolutely dismantled his alibi. Cameras show both of them entering the City Life Hotel, exiting the elevator onto Kempson's floor. Grace was never seen leaving, never seen again. Next morning, on Grace's birthday, CCTV caught Kempson buying a suitcase, cleaning supplies, and renting a Toyota Corolla. He'd also went as far as to hire a carpet cleaner, a professional carpet cleaner. It's about time that Walmart installed an alarm where if someone goes in and buys a suitcase, cleaning products, a shovel, gloves, I mean, how many people have we seen go in and buy those items and it doesn't get flagged up? It should be something in place in 2026 to put all those items together and flag it up. The only thing missing there is a knife and some rope. (8:10 in the morning then, at the warehouse, Elliott Street, he proceeds to go and buy the suitcase. He's next seen leaving at 8:32 a.m. 8:35, he gets to Countdown Metro. This is where he buys his cleaning products. Next then he leaves, orders a taxi, gets the taxi to go and buy a rental car. He goes and rents a Toyota Corolla. What's absolutely terrifying about all this is how he just does it all with such ease. He hasn't got a care in the world. Nothing's bothering him. What's even worse is hours after he killed Grace, he went on another date, and he weirded out the woman that he went on a date with that much that she cut it short because he was discussing how to get rid of dead bodies. She was totally freaked out by him. Later on, then they had CCTV of him loading 2 huge suitcases onto a luggage trolley in the hotel, wheeling them straight out the front door into his rental car, even having a bit of banter with the receptionist whilst he was doing it. Totally cool, calm, collected. Didn't bother him, like he was taking out the trash. The morning after, he went and bought a shovel. So as the evidence mounts, he's then arrested. The next part of his plan is to drop stuff off at the dry cleaners. Also, he'll wipe the car down and give her a good jet wash. The last part of Jesse's master plan is to go and distribute Grace's belongings all around in different public bins. You see him approach the bin here. He's done this with numerous bins, trying to get rid of his stuff. Bear in mind that this sick son of a bitch is doing this on her birthday. Struggling against the amount of evidence they had, his story shifted. He knew he wasn't going to get out of it, so he came up with the oldest trick in the book and said it was consensual sex gone wrong. He admitted to panicking, placing her body in a suitcase, burying it in the scenic Watakia Ranges outside Auckland. I apologize if I've butchered that place. On December the 9th, search teams located Grace's body in a shallow grave. An autopsy later revealed she'd been strangled for an uninterrupted 5 or 6 minutes. After the police had discovered that the CCTV showed Jesse was with her, they went into the hotel, applied luminol, and these are the results, basically. Blood everywhere. Obviously, it was Grace's, unfortunately. It wasn't too long after this that they discovered her body in Woodland.
The area was identified late last night as a location of interest as a result of our investigative work. I can now advise that a short time ago we located a body which we believe to be Grace. The formal identification process will now take place. However, based on the evidence we have gathered over the past few days, we expect that this is Grace. The focus now is to piece together exactly what happened to a young girl who came to New Zealand on her OE. It is an unbearable time for the Millane family, and our hearts go out to them. Any father, any parent in this situation will struggle.
See, I cannot imagine the grief of her family and what they will be experiencing and feeling right now. And my thoughts and prayers are with her father, David, who is in the country, her mother, Gillian, who cannot be here, and her wider family, friends, and loved ones. And so, on behalf of New Zealand, I want to apologise to Grace's family. Your daughter should have been safe here, and she wasn't, and I'm sorry for that. I've advised the family through the police that if there is anything we can do to assist, we are here to help with that.
Hundreds of mourners turned up for Grace's funeral, but there was one last sting in the tail for the family. They had to sit through the trial. They had to sit through Jesse blaming Grace for having been put through rough sex gone wrong. An embarrassment for the family to have to sit through this absolute trash. There should be a law against being used, but obviously the defence try and use this as a defence term all the time, even when we know it's clearly not what happened from the injuries.
In this case, to have killed Grace Millane, the defendant, gentleman over here at the back behind me, had to have had her under his grip, suffocating her, strangling her is probably the correct term, for a total of 5 to 10 minutes.
The verdict of murder today will be welcomed by every member of the Millane family and friends of Grace. It will not reduce the pain, the suffering that we've had to endure for over the past year. Grace was taken away from us in the most brutal fashion a year ago, and our lives have been, and family have been ripped apart. This will be with us for the rest of our lives. We would like to thank several people. Auckland Police Force, been professional, diligent and thorough all through this investigation. Last but not least, we would love to thank the people of New Zealand. They've opened their hearts to Grace and her family. I cannot express our gratitude enough for all the offers and gifts of kindness that we have received over the last year.
It's no easy task to strangle someone to the point of no return. As if that wasn't bad enough, after Grace had been murdered, Kempson was searching for the hottest fire, doing Google searches. Hottest fire, flesh-eating birds. Also Googled the remote location where her body was going to be found later on. Most sick of all, took photos of her deceased. A jury just took 5 hours to convict him. They found him guilty of murder. Jesse Kempson was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum non-parole of 17 years. Should have been 50 years, if you ask me. Once they lifted his name suppression, the public learned of Kempson's history of violence. 2 other women came forward after this, recognising him in news reports. In October 2020, Kempson was convicted of physically and financially and using an ex-partner, which included holding a knife to her throat. That should have had him lifed off straight away, if you ask me. And in a second incident in November 2020, he was convicted of British tourist 8 months before murdering Grace, threatening her life if she went to police. Now, if you've got that in you, if that is your personality, one of your traits, if you're that dangerous a person, you shouldn't have a second chance. You should be life in prison straight away. If you're going to put your hands on other people, especially a woman, you should be lifed off straight away. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Because if that was the case, Grace would still be alive. How many times have we seen somebody escalates their sexual violence against women and it gets worse and worse and worse and someone loses their life when they didn't need to? It happens a lot, time and time and time again. Lives could have been prevented from being taken. The argument comes up that there's not enough prison spaces, then build more. I don't care how many. We've got enough money to give away to different countries for stupid art projects, for sculptures, bronze statues in certain towns that cost thousands and tens of thousands of pounds. Put it into something like this. There's no excuse for it. I'm sure Grace's family would feel the same. Because of these extra convictions, when they came forward, they added an extra 11 years to his sentence. Tragically, Grace's father, David, he passed away from cancer in 2020, shortly after seeing his daughter get justice. To ensure Grace's memory is associated with hope rather than tragedy, her family and friends have channeled their grief into a meaningful act. There's the White Ribbon campaign, raising substantial funds to help women against male violence. And the Love Grace campaign, it's an initiative that collects handbags filled with essential toiletries and luxury items to support women escaping domestic abuse whilst they're seeking safety in a refuge. That's today's video. Thank you for listening. Thank you to DESKTRONIC for sponsoring the video. Go to DESKTRONIC.co.uk for a motorised desk. Enter code PADDY. Check out the Patreon. Exclusive videos on there that are going to be too sensitive for YouTube. Check out the socials. Thank you to the members and the mods. Remember, these cases can be emotional and stressful, so most of all, don't have nightmares. Paddy out. This tragedy shook New Zealand to the core. In an emotional public address, the Prime Minister even, Jacinda Ardern, spoke directly to Grace's family, apologising that she should have been safe in her country. She's the only daughter of David and Gillian Millane, the only daughter of David and Gillian Millane. After graduating from Lincoln University, after 6 weeks exploring South Africa, after 6 weeks exploring South America, she arrived alone in New Zealand on November the 19th.